This is the Mekong River, the soul of Southeast Asia. Its course runs for nearly 5,000 kilometers. Millions of gallons coming from the high plateaus of Tibet feed the river, spreading onto plains, trickling into rapids, or resting on tranquil lakes. This mother of all rivers is a vast kingdom for fish. Millions play in its sacred waters. Many of the species are endemic to the Mekong, and each contributes to a rich diversity in marine life. In the southern part of its course, a considerable number of fishing techniques have evolved over the centuries, providing an essential food supply, which is peacefully shared by locals. In areas that border two countries like Burma and Laos, or Laos and Thailand, fishermen have always managed this resource by rotation, where one day it's your turn and the next day it's my turn. While the fishermen generally get on well, it is the others, the dam operators, the seafarers, the merchants, whose schemes often conflict with the needs of some 70 million fishermen in the region, jeopardizing their livelihoods. Our journey begins in the south of China, where a traditional method of fishing is practiced, which is at once spectacular and unusual. Here in a town called Guilin, on the banks of the Li River, we will meet the Huang family, who has practiced fishing for generations.
The fish weigh 3 kilos.
Are you sure?
Yes, of course.
Oh, I get the feeling there's less.
My friend, the scale we use is accurate.
Okay, it's fine. See you soon.
After his trip to the market, Huang Luiqi returns to look after his cormorants that have taken him years to tame. His children may play without a care in the world, but Huang Luiqi is worried. He is spending more and more time on the river at night, but his cormorants are catching less and less than before. This is Huang Luiqi's village. While the fishing method may seem quite peculiar, it has been practiced here for centuries. The fishermen stand on the small bamboo rafts, and it is the cormorants that dive in to capture the fish. This morning, the whole family is gathered by the water for a quick bath.
You can't even steady the raft, and you think you could catch fish and shrimp.
Do you really think someone would steal our raft? That would be hard.
I want to lead this place.
You don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. I should smack you one. You don't understand a thing. You do as you please.
There are less and less fish. What will we do with the cormorants? I'm certainly not interested in breeding them.
You're not? What will you do then? Do you have any idea how you plan on getting by?
Why don't we sell them?
Sell them? How will we survive if we sell them?
Huang Luiqi does not know where to turn. The trade he's learned from his father no longer feeds his family, and his children are not interested in carrying on the tradition. He is caught between two worlds.
All you ever do is eat. Come on, go on.
The situation is all the more heart-wrenching for Huang Luiqi because he loves his cormorants. He trained them himself. He decides to call a family meeting, which includes his wife, his father, and most importantly, his brother.
Selling the cormorants would be like selling the lands of our ancestors.
You shouldn't say that. Remember how much fish we used to catch? I once caught over 150 kilos in a single night. No one knows what to make of what is happening now. There are so many different ways of fishing, such as using dynamite or electric shocks. How do you expect the cormorants to catch anything under such conditions? Do we even know if there are any fish left in the river? We never used to squeeze the necks of the cormorants as much. Little by little, we've been squeezing them tighter. I'm afraid that one day we're going to break their necks. I would rather sell them than kill them.
What's the point in selling them if we don't have other work? Without work, what kind of life can we expect?
We must find another way to make money. It's up to us to find something. We need several hundred yuans a month just to feed them. How are we ever going to make that kind of money? You criticize me. You think I don't care about the cormorants, but you know that I am the one who's been feeding them for a long time, as I would my own children. Do you really think I want to sell them? It's just that right now, there are no other solutions.
Later that night, the river beckons them. It's time to go fishing. The landscape is soothing, yet Huang Luiqi finds himself almost resenting his friends, the cormorants, which are powerless in the face of his troubles.
Hurry up! Dive in! Come on, hurry up!
More than 5,000 meters above the level of the Li River in the sacred mountains of High Tibet, the Mekong starts its long course southward towards the China Sea. Tibetans living in this austere region believed that the Himalayas converge towards the heavens in order to give birth to springs of pure water blessed by the gods. Once they've merged into a single current, these waters serve as the backbone for the 6 countries that border the river: China, Burma, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam are all connected by the Mekong. Along the way, the river irrigates an area half the size of Europe, providing for some 320 million people. As it flows through the different countries along its course, the river's identity also changes. In China, young Mekong is called Langkang. It develops into Mekong as it flows through Burma, Laos, Cambodia, and Thailand. Finally, in Vietnam, it is known as Julong, the River of 9 Dragons, after the 9 branches of the delta. Along its course, this captain of waters carries with it 1,000,000 secrets. Our journey now takes us from the south of Thailand to the Kingdom of Cambodia, the capital of which is Phnom Penh. Home to 15 million people, the country is one of the poorest of the region. Nearly a quarter of the population is provided for by the Tonle Sap, the Great Lake. Here we meet the family of Nim Kimli, a fisherwoman who lives on the banks of Tonle Sap, near the Mekong. Her entire family, including her husband and 7 children, participate in the activity, setting out at dawn in order to increase the chances of getting a good catch. They live on a houseboat and relocate to different parts of the lake according to fluctuations in its level.
All right, here we are. This is a good place. Okay, Babu, cast the nets.
For the Nims, fishing is a family affair. They have been working this way for a long time, and now that the children are getting older, things are a lot easier.
Okay, pull in the nets. Let's go, harder. That's not enough. Careful, the fish are escaping. Hey, look, a catfish. It's pretty big. But I thought there were 2. One got away.
Once they get a good-sized catch, they have to get a fair price for it. Fortunately, there is a floating market on the lake.
I'm offering a reasonable price. I'll give you 600 rials per kilo.
600 reals? You must be joking. Anyway, if you don't take it now, you'll end up buying it later.
Hang on, the scale just fell and we haven't finished weighing the fish.
The basket is broken. It's not heavy enough yet. Add more fish.
Good, now we have 55 kilos.
It's been a good haul. They've earned sufficient money to cover their basic needs for the weeks to come. Now they can quietly enjoy the rest of the day. Millions of people live from fishing in the Mekong Basin, much like the cormorant fishermen in China, or this Tonle Sap family in Cambodia. This way of life has been around for a very long time. There are wall paintings in the Angkor temples close to the lake that suggest that even while the tools, boats and nets have evolved over the years, fishing has been practiced in this region for at least 1,000 years. The next day, the Nims move to another location. As has been custom here for hundreds of years, the entire village moves together to find a new anchorage point. This nomadic tradition emerged as a result of the significant fluctuations in the level of the lake. During the wet season, from June to October, heavy monsoon rains combine with melting Himalayan ice sheets, and the surface of the lake is expanded sixfold, while the depth rises by about 8 meters. At the end of the wet season, the river resumes its normal course, and the fish are swept downstream. As the water levels drop, rich and nourishing sediment deposits transform the Mekong basin into a land that is ripe for agriculture. A few poles are all that is needed for this anchorage point to become the Nim family's new address for a period of weeks or months, depending on the season.
Why are you making yourself beautiful? We're just going fishing. There's no point on putting cream. The water is just going to wash it off.
During one of the fishing expeditions, Nim Kimle becomes concerned as she notices that the catches are becoming more sparse. Tonle Sap is an affluent of water from the Mekong. It covers a vast territory of some 2,700 square kilometers during the dry season. Because it is so vast, the river looks like a lake. And even more so during the wet season. It is one of the most fertile freshwater fishing regions in the world. When the water levels rise, the lake often floods the neighboring fields and forests. As the Mekong rises, the branch of the river that links it to the lake reverses its course. It is the only place in the world where this phenomenon occurs. The reverse flow of the Tonle Sap acts as a safety valve, reducing the risk of flooding further downstream. The seasonal flooding produces the ideal conditions for fish to reproduce. There are some 200 different species in the region. This is a boon for the Nims, along with the 3 million Cambodians who live in this area. Here, they say, there are as many ways to fish as there are fish in the water. A little further upstream, where the river surges into rapids, other types of fishing methods have evolved. The Kon Pha Pheng Falls, on the border of Laos and Cambodia, also supplies its people with a daily provision of fresh fish. Meanwhile, at the lake, the fishing nets have been cast, and it's time for the Nim family to have lunch. Today's special is a medley of fresh fish, Tonley Sap style.
Okay, kids, it's already afternoon. We'll have to go back to work in a little while. The break will soon be over and you will all go back to your posts. We wake up early and we come back late. We work hard every day, but we earn so little money that we can't even afford petrol.
We could try to do something other than fishing.
What else can we do? We don't know how to read nor write.
But we could try.
You really think there are jobs for people like you? For the past 3 generations, our family has lived on the lake. What else can we do other than fishing?
We've only been catching 4 or 5 kilos lately. It does not even cover the petrol.
We must carry on.
If we don't catch any fish today, we will surely catch some tomorrow. And it might even be a big catch. If we get discouraged so quickly, we will never catch any.
We always manage to catch fish, whether it's a little or a lot. We just have to work harder and everything will be okay.
And when fishing restrictions are introduced, we will just use smaller nets.
If that ever happens, it will be even more difficult to catch fish.
We leave the Nims to travel to the Mekong Delta in the south of Vietnam. The country has a population of 85 million, and its capital is Hanoi. The delta, in the southernmost part of the country, consists of 9 branches. Here can be found some of the most spectacular floating markets. We will join Ah Leong, who recently decided to invest in a floating fish farm. He is putting the finishing touches to his modest project, getting ready for the delivery of the nursing fry, the juvenile fish that he'll be breeding. He is repairing an old raft that he managed to acquire cheaply.
The reproduction cycle for fish is short. It only takes about 4 months for the fish to be big enough for sale. The work is interesting and profitable. Altogether, it has cost me 100 million dongs for the farm and the nursing fry.
100 million dongs? How much of that investment was covered by your own money?
100%. I've put in all my savings.
You've invested all your capital in the fish farm? What will happen if things don't work out? If you can't recover your investment?
Nobody knows what the future has in store. I hope to be blessed by the gods.
following day, the nursing fry are delivered. Under the watchful gaze of a neighbour, Ah Leong carefully places them in the floating tanks hooked to the floor of the raft. Later, he feeds his fish for the first time. He is careful to break up the pasty feed in small lumps. This is his first attempt, and he is not yet concerned by the effects of water pollution. A few weeks go by, and Ah Leong is forced to admit that for whatever reason, his fish have not survived. It is a disaster, an abrupt end to his dreams. He is faced with a problem made all the more daunting by the fact that he does not understand why his fish have died. Back in China, in the picturesque mountains of Guilin, Huang Luichi, the cormorant fisherman, has yet to come up with a solution to his problems.
There are no fish left.
But even without fish, we cannot sell the cormorants. They once brought us fish. It's up to us now to take care of them.
Huang Luichi decides to take matters into his own hands. If tourism is the future, then he is ready to embrace it. He prepares his cormorants for a nocturnal fishing expedition and proposes the show to a big tour boat that provides excursions up the river. Why not, after all, show off his talents and give people something to see? The tourists love the show, but Huang Luichi finds the experience most humiliating. While the foreigners are having a great time, he feels that he is betraying his ancestors and making a mockery of a noble fishing tradition. As the tropical rains descend, Huang Luichi's wife tries to restore his dignity. She knows his pride has been wounded deeply. She also understands that the last thing he wants is to inflict a folkloric lifestyle on his cormorants. The following day, it is almost without regret that he sets off to sell his lifelong fishing companions in order to focus on the construction of a small tour boat. He has decided that if tourism is to be the future, then he has to face it without undermining the beauty of his honourable tradition. He is fully aware that his brother has turned against him.
You know that I'm against building this damn boat. Why don't you listen to me? How are you ever going to reimburse your debts? Don't you want to live and keep your children in school?
You're not asking me to quit now.
Anyway, you have to find a way to reimburse my money. You may be brothers, but from now on, it's every man for himself.
Don't worry, I'll pay you back. It's fine to want to keep up traditions, but we must live with the times. If we don't change, then how will we ever survive? From now on, we can go our separate ways. I don't want to discuss this with you anymore.
Back on the Tonle Sap Lake in Cambodia, the Nim family are facing grim circumstances. They have been on numerous fishing expeditions, but have failed to catch anything. Only the mother's tireless energy keeps the family from becoming demoralized.
Okay, let's get to work, everybody. Kana, what are you doing? It's nearly nightfall. Hurry up. Why aren't you working? Hurry up! Kana, throw the nets. There's still a big part of the net that hasn't been cast. I'm getting angry. Pay attention to the mud. Don't get it in the net. Scoop up the snails with the net and everything else. We'll take everything. Just look at yourselves. Come on, stop daydreaming.
Once again, there is nothing, absolutely nothing. For the first time, the parents consider the worst. They might even have to put down roots somewhere. It could be the end of their life afloat on the Tonle Sap.
Dear God, tell us where we've gone wrong in our lives. Why are you abandoning us? Dear God, I'm begging you, please don't be angry. Bless us and give us the strength to carry on.
After a good night's sleep, Nim Kimley decides to go and see Tool Sofa, the village chief, a wise man. Perhaps he will have some sound advice for her.
There is less water in the lake, and less fish. I'm not catching much either, and neither are my children. I don't know what to make of it. I've never seen this before. The volume of fish caught has been very low. The climate was better last year, but now everything has changed. There's been a lot of change here in the past 10 years.
We are not catching any fish right now, so we are getting discouraged. We don't know what else to do. We may have to change our way of life.
There are more and more people, and the equipment is getting more sophisticated. For people like us, it's becoming increasingly difficult to live from fishing. In my family, we would need to take on 2 or 3 other jobs, such as weaving nets, fish farming, or transporting people, just to survive.
To complicate matters, the part of the lake where the Nims are anchored has started to dry up, and it's almost impossible to move the boat. It's the rainy season, but there's no rain.
The bottom of the lake is covered with sludge. We will be able to move the boat when the water rises. But what are we going to do until then?
For Nim Kimley, the situation has become unbearable. Her life is intrinsically linked to that of the lake and to the climate's fickle temper. What's worse, the children don't want to continue this way of life.
Why are you painting mountains?
Because landscapes with mountains are nicer.
But why don't you paint water?
Landscapes with water are blurry. When you paint a landscape with water, it never turns out as beautiful as in reality.
So why don't you paint a boat?
I don't know how to paint a boat. Look at their clothes. They're so lovely. People living on the mainland are so lovely.
And suddenly, one morning, when they least expected and had almost given up hope, the torrential rains descend. The sky opens up to offer its most precious gift. Never in her life has Nim Kimley loved the rain so much. And what a deluge! After a few hours, everything is afloat again. The boat sets sail and the grounded homes become a floating village again. Any thought of giving up is quickly forgotten. With happy abandon, the young children return to their water games. The entire lake is breathing again. The waters have taken over and are inundating the lands, as they always have with the coming of the wet season. The world has returned to normal. For the village, the time has come to move on. On dry land, they wait temporarily for the worst of the monsoon rains to pass. But while things are looking up for the family, Nim Kimley has been profoundly marked by this ordeal. As the villagers prepare for their land-bound journey, the yearly migration serves as a reminder of their tenuous way of life in the face of nature's unpredictable forces. The future for the Nims is filled with increasing uncertainty. Their nomadic way of life is already a difficult one. But what will happen if the fish do not return, or the lake becomes even more polluted? What options will remain to them? Further upstream, dams are under construction, and they're having a direct impact on their daily lives, not to mention the pollution from cities that border the river. The way that the family lives today has evolved over centuries, in accordance with a cycle very much defined by the seasons and the climate. It is the seasons that impose a rhythm on their lives, their movements, and their existence on a day-to-day basis. It's easy to imagine that global warming will only intensify seasonal variations and directly impact on their lives. The children themselves do not wish to carry on the tradition, but they don't yet know how they'll adapt. Back on his fish farm, Ah Leong is feeling better and has found a bit of money for a new shipment of nursing fry. He has decided not to give up and is about to undertake a second trial.
How much did you lose last time?
I lost about 20 million dongs. The last time the water became very polluted and the fish caught all sorts of diseases. This is the only way to learn.
Why don't you look for another job? Now you've become aware of the risks associated with fish farming. Why continue?
I really want to succeed. I must do everything necessary to fulfill my dream. I won't give up until I succeed. This time, I've invested 80 million dongs. I plan on applying for a loan from the government and then getting some training. This is how I plan on making it work.
This time, it is a success. Ah Leong produces an impressive quantity of fish. His first client is satisfied, which bodes well for his future as a fish farmer. But he will need to remain vigilant regarding water pollution in the delta. The international markets are becoming increasingly demanding. Understandably, they require unpolluted produce. Back in Guilin on the Liu River, Huang Luichi has almost finished building his small boat. As his brother goes out fishing with the cormorants, Huang Luichi is having his vessel blessed to the flare of firecrackers. He is taking a leap into an uncertain future. Like Huang Luichi, the inhabitants that live from fishing along the Mekong are facing the unknown. They understand that their ancient practices will soon be obsolete. They suspect that pollution, together with climate change, are just adding to the problems they already face. Still, many rise to the challenges and imagine solutions that are often unusual and creative and always compelling. The lands in the southern part of the river are so fertile that it is no exaggeration to call them the world's vegetable garden, much in the same way that the Amazon is called the Earth's lungs. There are many surprises in store as we encounter the people who grow rice, fruits and vegetables, as well as flowers, and whose business it is to sell these goods, often on the river itself. Finally, we're going to look at spiritual faith that is almost omnipresent along the banks of the Mekong, and consider the challenges that await the youngest inhabitants of this part of the world.